What's happening around the world
and what's happening here at home. Good evening and a very warm welcome. You're watching Primetime News on TV1. I'm Peruni Karunaratnam.
I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
The headlines on Newsfirst.
Trio, including Charit and Rakita, further remanded for allegedly taking a bribe from Harak Qatar. Investigations commence into a visit to Dubai by former Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa in 2023. Former Navy Commander Vasantha Karannagoda released on bail. Court of Appeal dismisses petition filed by Yoshitha Rajapaksa. Legal experts clarify the retirement age of judges of the superior courts in Sri Lanka. A water project for the Siddhartha Vidyalaya in Meegamavattam, Kandy from Government.
On to your top story for tonight. The son of former Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, Rakita Rajapaksa, and former SJB organizer for Horana, Charit Singha, have been further remanded until the 17th of July.
During the proceedings, the Bribery Commission informed the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court that it has also initiated an investigation regarding a foreign trip to Dubai made by former Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa in 2023.
Case against Rakita Rajapaksa, who is the son of former Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, SJB Horana electorate organizer Charita Singha, and former Director of Airport and Aviation Services Varusha Hennadige Aruna Sri Chaturanga, was taken up today before Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanga H. Bodaragama. The three suspects were arrested on the 25th of June in connection with allegedly soliciting a bribe of 500 million rupees, which was later reduced to 300 million rupees from Madhushika Madhuvanti, the wife of alleged organised criminal Nadun Chintaka Vikramaratna, alias Harak Qatar, to prevent his assassination, remove his detention orders and transfer him from the Busa High Security Prison. The trio had allegedly obtained 120 million rupees as an advance of the bribe. Assistant Director of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, Anusha Sambandhan Peruma, who appeared on behalf of the Commission, informed the court that investigations have revealed that the second suspect's father, former Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, had travelled to Dubai during the same period the three suspects were there to conduct the transaction. Excerpt.
Your Honour, we are submitting a further report on the progress of the investigation. Investigations have revealed a new fact. The father of the second suspect also visited Dubai. Specifically, the second suspect's father, former Justice Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, departed from Bandar Naik International Airport for Dubai on the 21st of March 2023. These three suspects travelled to Dubai for the transaction on the 29th of March 2023. The father returned to Sri Lanka on the 28th of March 2023. This shows that the father was in Dubai during the time the suspects were there to facilitate this deal. While he did not travel with them or return with them, the timelines overlap. We're investigating who he met and what he did during that time in Dubai to determine if he is linked to this bribery deal.
End of excerpt. Assistant Director of the Bribery Commission, Anusha Sambandhan Peruma, informed the court that the first suspect, Charita Singha, had arranged for the 20 million rupee bribe obtained from Madhushika Madhuvanti, the wife of Harak Qatar, to be handed over to the late Lasantha Vikramaratna, who was the chairman of the Midigama Pradeshya Sabha, at an address on Vijayaba Mavatha, Navala Road, Nugegoda. She further informed the court that investigations revealed that the residence of the second suspect's father, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, is also located on Vijayaba Mavatha, Navala Road, Nugegoda. Assistant Director Anusha Sambandhan Peruma stated that they are conducting investigations into the conduct of the Criminal Investigations Department officers during the period that Nadun Chintaka Vikramaratna, alias Harak Qatar, was held under detention orders. Excerpt.
Your Honour, Nadun Chintaka, alias Harak Qatar, was arrested by the CID in Madagascar. He was subsequently placed in CID custody. We're investigating how the CID officers acted after he was taken into custody and how they conduct the investigations regarding him.
End of excerpt. She also informed the court that investigations are being conducted regarding WhatsApp messages and calls exchanged through the suspects' phone lines, as well as their assets and liabilities. Attorney at law Ashok Veerasurya, appearing for the first suspect Charita Singha, requested that his client be released on bail stating that there was no sufficient grounds to deny bail to the suspect. Excerpt.
Your Honor, my client cannot be remanded based on statements made by individuals currently in custody regarding serious criminal charges. Those matters must be proven by leading evidence during a trial. Therefore, there are no sufficient grounds to deny bail to my client at this time. As my client's professional activities are being disrupted, I request that he be released on suitable bail.
End of excerpt. President's counsel Anil Silva, appearing for the second suspect, Rakitha Rajapaksa, argued before the court that the certificate submitted by the Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption regarding the arrest of the suspects is illegal, and therefore there is no obstacle to releasing the suspect on bail. Attorney Geet Karunaratne, appearing for the third suspect, Varusha Hennadige Arunashri Chaturanga, argued before the court that the suspect should be released on bail as there is a threat to his life. After considering the submissions, the Chief Magistrate rejected the bail applications and further remanded the suspects until the 17th of July. Excerpt.
It has been stated that remand is unsuitable due to threats to the lives of the suspects. Necessary orders have already been issued to the prison authorities to take steps regarding the safety of the suspects. Accordingly, that is not an exceptional circumstance for granting bail to the suspects. Therefore, no exceptional grounds have been presented to grant bail to the suspects at this time. The bail requests made on behalf of the suspects are rejected. The suspects are remanded until the 17th July.
End of excerpt. The case is scheduled to be called again on the 17th of July.
Former Navy Commander Admiral of the Fleet Wasantha Karanangoda, arrested by the Bribery Commission, was ordered to be released on bail by the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today.
The former Navy Commander, Admiral of the Fleet Wasantha Karanangoda, was arrested by the Bribery Commission this morning on charges of committing acts of corruption. The allegation centers on the recruitment of Yoshitha Rajapaksa, son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, as an officer cadet in the executive branch of the Navy in 2006, despite him not meeting the required qualifications. It is alleged that corruption was committed by facilitating his participation in a training course at the Britannia Royal Naval College, funded by government money, in violation of established procedures. The suspect was produced before the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court this afternoon by Deputy Director General of the Bribery Commission, Ruini Vikramasinghe. The Deputy Director General informed the court that the qualifications required for application to the executive branch of the Navy had been altered specifically to facilitate the recruitment of the suspect, Yoshitha Rajapaksa. President's counsel Shavindra Fernando appeared for the suspect and requested the court to grant him release on appropriate bail. Having considered the submissions, the Chief Magistrate ordered the suspect to be released on bail. The case will be taken up again on the 4th of August.
The Court of Appeal today dismissed a revision petition filed by son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, Yoshitha Rajapaksa.
He had filed this petition requesting the court to rule that the charge of conspiracy contained in the case filed by the Attorney General against him before the Colombo High Court under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act cannot be maintained.
The verdict was delivered by Judge Amal Ranaraja with the concurrence of Court of Appeal Judge Dr. Sumudu Premachandra.
What was requested in Yoshitha's petition that was dismissed by the court today? It was stated that the Attorney General had filed charges of conspiracy under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act before the Colombo High Court against the petitioner Yoshitha Rajapaksa and another defendant, Daisy Forrest. Subsequently, the female defendant was discharged from the case due to her health condition. Yoshitha Rajapaksa's argument was that the relevant charge could not be maintained against him alone following her discharge. This revision petition was taken up for hearing before the Court of Appeal on the 16th of June. What was the verdict delivered by the court today? Judge Amal Ranaraja stated that he rejects the argument presented by the petitioner's side that the conspiracy charge cannot be maintained against the petitioner alone simply because one of the two defendants originally charged has been discharged from the case. Excerpt.
An individual can be charged with conspiracy even if it is alleged that the act was committed together with a party not currently before the court. It is not a requirement for two defendants to be present before the court for such a charge. Therefore, the argument presented by the petitioner's side that the conspiracy charge cannot be maintained against only one defendant cannot be accepted. The relevant charge filed against the petitioner before the High Court is legal. The order given by the High Court judge to proceed with the case is correct. Accordingly, this petition is dismissed.
End of excerpt.
Meanwhile, the Colombo Law Society has formally entered the debate surrounding proposed constitutional amendments to increase the retirement age for judges of the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. In a resolution dated the 25th of June 2026, the Society expressed its unified opposition to the move.
In a letter dated 2nd July 2026 and addressed to President Anurukumara Dissanayake, the Colombo Law Society has formally backed the position taken by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka in its letter to the President dated 25th May 2026, which warned against the risks of extending judicial tenure. Central to the Society's argument is the sanctity of judicial independence. The CLS warned that altering retirement ages, a framework established under the 1978 Constitution, could spark public perception that the judiciary is being subjected to political influence or executive accommodation. The Society questioned the necessity of the change, pointing out that the state successfully expanded the number of Superior Court judges as recently as 2020. They argue that this expansion should have addressed administrative capacity without the need to disturb constitutional tenure limits. The Colombo Law Society emphasized that any structural change to the judiciary must be preceded by broad, transparent consultations with all stakeholders to protect the long-term integrity of the rule of law. The Colombo Law Society has urged the President to give his fullest consideration to the concerns expressed by the legal profession and to refrain from proceeding with any constitutional amendment seeking to extend the retirement age of judges, adding that upholding and safeguarding the independence, integrity, dignity and public confidence in the judiciary is essential to the preservation of the rule of law and democratic governance in Sri Lanka.
Meanwhile, views were also expressed regarding the extension of the retirement age for Superior Court judges on the Alut Mawatha program, which aired on Sirasa TV yesterday.
My view is that the retirement age for judges, especially those of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, should be increased. The world's greatest democracy is the United States, followed by the United Kingdom. In the US, a Supreme Court justice can serve until they die, though there are certain limitations. In the UK, you have the House of Lords and the Privy Council. All the judges there are well over 65, people who are in their 70s and 80s. Furthermore, the judiciary is not just judges. It also includes the lawyers appearing for the prosecution and the defense. In the Sri Lankan legal profession today, there are plenty of highly skilled veteran lawyers aged 75, 80 and even over 80 whose minds are working perfectly well. If they can go to court and present arguments, why retire judges at 65?
All the leaders of the West Indies collectively decided to further extend that age limit. There is a major reason for that. The same applies to Hong Kong. The most important factor here is not age, but efficiency, experience, ability, and how much they can contribute to the judicial power of the people through those qualities.
I believe we must utilize the services of judges in the higher courts. Who holds the position is not the point, but there is nothing unfair about changing and increasing their age limits. Similarly, the age limits for high court judges and others should also be considered logically and scientifically.
විද්‍යාත්මකව සිතා බැලිය යුතු වෙනවා.
කොටසකට අසාධාරණයක් ලක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? දක්ෂයෙකුට උඩට එන්න තියෙන අවස්ථාව නැතු වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා.
වැඩි වෙනකොට එක්කෙනෙකුට නෙමෙයි.
When it is increased, it doesn't just apply to one person. It applies to everyone currently in service. In fact, those who are just about to reach retirement age will also get an extension of 2 years. Thus, they too will be able to continue contributing their knowledge, practice and ability to this country. There might be a concern regarding those in the high courts waiting to be elevated to the Court of Appeal. But if the age limit is increased, I believe no harm will be done to the system.
මේ පද්ධතියටම කිසිම හානියක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා.
දැන් අපි ඔය වයස සීමාව සම්බන්ධයෙන් බැලුවොත් එමේ
If we look at these age limits, how were they determined when the 1978 Constitution was enacted? 65 years for Supreme Court judges, 63 for Court of Appeal judges, and 61 for High Court judges. What was the criteria? Has anyone ever asked how that criteria was established? So shouldn't this Constitution be amended now?
Sri Lanka's anti-corruption body is moving to seal a key deal with South Korea's Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission. Newsfirst's Zulfik Farzan reports from Seoul.
Well, on the sidelines of the International Anti-Corruption Forum here in Seoul, South Korea, Sri Lanka's Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption has held bilateral talks with South Korea's ACRC on drafting an MOU. Naranga Desanayake, the chief of SIAWOC, confirmed to Newsfirst that both sides have agreed to draft an MOU before proceeding with a final agreement.
Sri Lanka is also shifting from policy reform to full-scale implementation in its fight against corruption, with sweeping institutional, legal and technological changes now underway.
Since early 2025, our focus has been clear to move from reform design to practical implementation. And now, with the clear mandate of the people, is a genuine anti-corruption drive with comprehensive law. We are strengthening the investigation and improving case management to ensure faster and more effective outcomes. Sri Lanka has also established 3 dedicated high courts for hearing the corruption matters without delay. We are restructuring SIAWOC to improve operational performance. This includes strengthening staff capacity, improving workflows, and decentralizing the services to improve public access. And also, this year, we have introduced an electronic asset declaration system to improve transparency, efficiency, and accountability. In addition to that, National Anti-Corruption Action Plan 2025 to 2029 and SIAWOC Strategic Action Plan provides a clear implementation roadmap covering prevention, enforcement, awareness, and coordination across the institution. The cooperation between SIAWOC and ACRC has developed step by step over recent years, always with a strong focus on practical implementation. Following the SIAWOC began exploring how these practical tools could be adapted to Sri Lanka's legal administrative system. The engagement was not simple.
May I ask you to summarize in 1 minute?
It was practical. It focused on the real system, real institution, and real implementation challenges. And very recently, one of the most important outcomes of this partnership is the Anti-Corruption Initiative Assessment, AIA, developed with ACRC and UNDP. And based on the Korea's integrity assessments system, the AIA has been carefully adapted to the Sri Lankan context. Corruption remains a serious global challenge. However, our experience shows that progress is possible when cooperation is practical, consistent, and focused on implementation.
In February, Sri Lanka recorded a notable improvement in its global standing on the Corruption Perceptions Index 2025 by Transparency International, marking one of the country's most significant jumps in recent years. Accordingly, Sri Lanka rose from rank 121 in 2024 to rank 107 in 2025, reflecting a 14-position climb.
SJB members hold different views regarding the stance expressed by SJB MP Dayasiri Jayasekara that they should join forces with any group, including thieves, robbers and those facing corruption allegations, for the sake of power, as well as the situation that has emerged surrounding Charit Abesinghe. Following the SJB Management Committee meeting held at the office of the opposition leader this morning, these are the views expressed by party representatives in response to questions raised.
දැන් ඔබතුමාලට මේ මුදල් එනවද හරක් කතාවෙන් පක්ෂෙට
අපි කිසිම සම්බන්ධයකුත් නැහැ පක්ෂෙත් නැහැ.
දැන් තබේසිංහගේ සිද්ධියත් එක්ක දැන් මොකද
නෑ චරිත තබේසිංහ වැඩිකාරයෙක් නෙවෙයිනේ. ඔහුට චෝදනාවක් එල්ල කරලා ආණ්ඩුව අරන් තියෙනවා. ඒ චෝදනාව පිළිබඳව විවිධ මත තියෙනවා. ඒක අධිකරණ ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයකින් ඔප්පු වෙන්න ඕන කෙනෙක් වැඩිකාරයෙක් නම්.
දැන් ඔබතුමාලගෙන් මේ චන්දිල්ලකු දයාසිරි ජයසේකර මහතා කියනවා ප්‍රකාශයක් සම්බන්ධව මේ ඕනම කෙනෙක් දාගෙන අපි ඕන කුම් ගොඩක් එකතු කරගෙන ආණ්ඩුව බෙල්ලන්න ලෑස්ති කියලා. ඔබතුමාලා ඒ මතයට එකඟයිද?
අපි ඒ වචනේ පාවිච්චි කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් මේ රටේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී දේශපාලනය අගය කරන සියලු දේශපාලන පක්ෂත් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න සූදානම්. දැන් විපක්ෂ නායකතුමාගේ මූලිකත්වයෙන් ඒ පිළිබඳව පීවර ගණනාවක් ඉදිරිය ගන්න යනවා. ඉතින් ඒක වැරද්දක් නෑ.
දයාසිරි මහත්තයාගේ ප්‍රකාශයේ එතුමා දැන් මෙතන නැත්නම් පොදු විපක්ෂෙට ඉන්නේ.
නෑ දයාසිරි ජයසේකර මහත්මයා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය නියෝජනය කරමින් ඉන්නේ.
දැන් ඔබතුමාලගේ පක්ෂෙට මේ හරක් කතාවෙන් අර මුදල් ලැබෙනවද?
නෑ ඒම ඉතින් මේ ඒ අපේ පක්ෂයේ එහෙම කාත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධයක් තියෙන පක්ෂයක් නෙවෙයිනේ.
ඒතකොට දයාසිරි මහත්තයාගේ ප්‍රකාශෙත් එක්ක එපෙන්ටද?
නෑ අපි මෙහෙමයි සමගි ජන බලවේගයේ හැටියට අපි එක එක්කෙනාගේ ප්‍රකාශ වලට එකක වෙන්න අවශ්‍යතාවයක් නෑ.
ඕනම ජරා ගොඩක් කුණු ගොඩක් දාගෙන ආණ්ඩුවක් පෙල්ලන එක සාධාරණයි.
නෑ අපිට එහෙම ඕනම කුණු ගොඩක් ජරා ගොඩක් අපිට කොයි වෙලාවත් අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නෑ. අපි පැහැදිලිවම කියනවා රටේ මේ වෙනකොට තියෙන හොඳම කණ්ඩායම ඉන්නේ සමගි ජන බලවේගෙත් එක්ක. ඒක පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුල බැලුවත් වෙනවා. ඒ කොහේ බැලුවත් පේනවා.
සමගි ජන බලවේගයට හරක් කතාවකින් මුදල් ලැබෙන
නෑ. ඉතින් හරක් කතාවකින් මුදල් අරගෙන සමගි ජන බලවේගයට දේශපාලනය කරන්න උවමනාවක් නෑනේ. එහෙම බංකොලොත් පක්ෂයක් නෙමෙයි.
දයාසිරි මහත්තයා දැන් ඕනම කුණු ගොඩක් දාගෙන ආණ්ඩුවක් ගන්න හදන එතන ඉන්නවද සමගිය?
කවුද?
දයාසිරි මහත්තයා කියනෝනේ අපි එහෙම බෙල්ලම් කියලා ඕනම.
මං ඒක දැක්කේ නෑ. එහෙම එකක් කියලා තියෙනවද? අග පොඩ හොයලා බලලා කියන්න උත්තරයක් දෙන්න මොකක්ද එයා කිව්වේ කියලා.
The day the Samagi Jana Sandhanaya or SJB alliance was launched at the Sugitadasa Indoor Stadium in Colombo centered around the 2024 presidential election. Representing the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Dayasiri Jayasekara came forward to sign this alliance. That day, this group pledged to eliminate fraud and corruption. During a recent press conference, Vidarshana Kannangara quoted the statement made by Jayasekara at the time.
We all need to come together. Everyone may have different ideologies. Some people might be thought of as racist. Others might be thieves, robbers, people with problems. Right? There might be people with allegations of corruption. However, we have now reached a situation where we cannot separate or filter them out.
While Dayasiri Jayasekara, who said this, and other leaders of the Samagi Jana Sandhanaya were present, here is the statement made that same day by the leader of the opposition, Sajith Premadasa, in his capacity as the leader of the alliance.
I wish to state at this juncture that we will not only bring those economic criminals who bankrupted the country through corrupt and fraudulent processes before the court and fulfill our duties before the law, but we will also redirect every dollar, every rupee and every cent lost to the country toward the upliftment of our nation's general public.
Trade union leader Chamira Pereira says that the corrupt politicians who bankrupted the country in the past are once again uniting for their own survival.
මිනිමරුවයි දූෂිතයෝයි වංචනිකයෝයි හොරුයි කප්පංකාරයෝයි කොහොමත් ඉතින් උඹලට තිබුණේ එහෙම ආණ්ඩුවක්.
Murderers, the corrupt, fraudsters, thieves and extortionists. You already had a government like that after all. There is no need for us to unite especially. They are all unrepentant, wretched thieves. They know that their game is up. They know that their time is running out very soon. That is why they are in such a frantic, desperate state. Whoever they may be, it doesn't matter. They bankrupted the entire country. They bankrupted it and enriched one family. Such people are the ones now saying they are all getting back together. Let them. We will be watching.
The price of litro gas has been reduced effective from midnight today. Accordingly, the price of a 12.5 kilogram gas cylinder has been reduced by rupees 300, bringing the new price to rupees 4,465. The price of a 5 kilogram gas cylinder has been reduced by rupees 118, with the new price being rupees 1,792. The price of a 2.3 kilogram gas cylinder has been reduced by rupees 55 and its new price is rupees 835.
Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now. Watch the FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Weather first.
The Department of Meteorology has issued an advisory for rough seas.
Umed Thrabekun brings you the details.
Thank you, Sandaru and Theruni. Now, taking a look at your latest weather forecast, the Department of Meteorology states that wind speeds may increase up to 55 to 65 kilometers per hour at times in the sea areas off the coast, extending from Mullatheo through Mana to Putlam and from Matara through Hambantota to Puthuville, adding that these sea areas may be rough at times. In addition, they further noted that the other sea areas around the island will also be moderately rough. The department also warns that there is a possibility that sea swells of about 2 to 2.5 meters may occur in the sea areas off the coast, extending from Chilau through Colombo, Galle and Hambantota to Puthuville.
Weather first.
FIFA World Cup live, where the best football teams in the world compete. Live matches, Rewind TV, highlights, reels. Watch it all for free. Download the Pure mobile app now.
Welcome back. Gammadda, which is an initiative for the people, by the people, successfully completed yet another project today.
Under this project, clean drinking water was provided to the children of Meegamavatta Siddhartha Vidyalaya in Kandy.
This pressing need came to light during the Gammadda door-to-door program.
The Meegamavatta Siddhartha Vidyalaya, located in the Pathadumbara Divisional Secretariat of Kandy, is a place of learning for 280 bright young minds. It was during a visit under the Gammadda door-to-door initiative that the Gammadda team first learned of the severe water challenges the students faced. Recognizing the urgent need, the school principal reached out to Gammadda with a heartfelt request to build a sustainable and reliable drinking water system for the children. The response was swift. In a remarkably short time, the foundation stone was laid. Today, it was declared open. The endeavour was made possible through the generous full sponsorship of the 2024-2025 President of the Women's International Club of Colombo 7, Srimasa Naviratna, and the Executive Committee.
But I'm happy to be here because globally, all over the world, water is the staff of life. Without water, I don't think there's any existence. So I'm very happy to be hand in hand with you.
The project was also supported by N.M. Hussain in loving memory of her grandfather, the late Rajab Khan Muhyiddin Saibu of Abhayapura, Kalukale in Nuwara. Venerable Keulegama Vimalakirti Thera, the chief incumbent of the Siddhartha Rama temple, arrived with the Mahasangha and invoked blessings upon the project. Director of the MTV MBC Depanama Broadcasting Centre, Vasanta Masingage, Kandy District Secretary Indika Udavatta, Vattegama Zonal Director of Education, Tharanga Gunaratna, Pathadumbara Divisional Secretary Sandumini Serasingha, the Principal of the Siddhartha Vidyalaya Asankana Nayakara, including government officials as well as the Gammadda General Secretary and Manager Prasanna Thukorala and the team participated in the occasion.
There are many issues in our school system and in these areas, especially regarding water. We can manage without food. but it is very difficult to survive without water. For a school with young children, water is an absolute necessity. As the district secretary, I am truly grateful for Gamadda and the generous donors who support it. Without them, it is unlikely anyone would think of this. No matter how much wealth or money an average person may have, it is the intent and the mindset behind such an act that is truly powerful. Gamadda is not merely a project of Sirasa or a singular organization, official or individual. It is a collective effort of all Sri Lankans that has allowed us to support villages and schools for over a decade, helping us carry out school improvements and other public projects that our people need. We are not stopping here. We plan to keep moving forward because through our Gamadda Door-to-Door initiative, we realize there is still much to be done. We intend to continue our journey by identifying these needs and fulfilling what our people and children require.
Strengthening the future guardians of our nation and offering them unwavering support and care. Gamadda, for the people, by the people.
The launch of the school canteen food environment policy organised by the Colombo Municipal Council was held in Colombo today.
Dedicated to fostering a healthy food environment and promoting the well-being of school children, the Colombo Municipal Council officially launched the school canteen food environment policy in Colombo today. The program is being implemented across approximately 141 schools under the Colombo Municipal Council, covering a wide range of educational institutions within the city.
There is currently a major national discussion about school canteens and food. This is something we must do together. Therefore, do not see this as a burden. We must reinvent ourselves and focus on providing the best for children. We always try to give our children the best at home. As teachers and principals, we always try to raise healthy children. Food is the most important factor in that. This is a policy launch, not a one-day event. It will continue over time. Our municipal team will regularly monitor, identify shortcomings, and discuss how we can support improvements. This is a bold and positive effort to improve the health of children in our city.
By taking preventive action, what is important to remember is that we are not just solving the consequences of diseases by treating them, but we are actually addressing the root causes of diseases, which is so much more, I would say, important and often helpful than simply treating the diseases that have already happened. This is more than a food policy. This is more than a nutrition policy. I think it's encouraging that the city is looking at it as an investment in the health, in the well-being and in the future of Colombo's children. The present and future of public health is absolutely in the hands of cities, and today Colombo has shown us what leadership can look like and what it can achieve.
The policy introduces guidelines on food sold in school canteens, including restrictions on items high in sugar, salt and unhealthy fats, while it also aims to discourage the sale of heavily processed and fast foods while encouraging healthy alternatives such as fruits, vegetables, traditional meals and nutritious beverages.
The United Nations Weather Watchdog is warning governments and humanitarian organizations to brace for extreme weather events, including heat waves, droughts and heavy rainfall due to the El Nino weather phenomenon.
Krishan Devasagam brings us more details on this.
Thank you, Theruni and Sandaru. Well, yes, from heat waves in Europe to flash floods in the United States, extreme weather events are indeed causing chaos across the world. Now, in a statement issued today, the World Meteorological Organization, or WMO, said that El Nino conditions had already set in and are forecast to strengthen rapidly between July and September this year. Now, El Nino typically peaks between November and February. More importantly, the UN agency has activated climate information services and early warning systems to help governments and other humanitarian agencies prepare support plans for farmers and vulnerable communities. Let's take a look at more details.
WMO Secretary General Celeste Solo says, quote, El Nino conditions are already underway and are forecast to strengthen rapidly into a strong event, as accurately anticipated by WMO forecasts. This will intensify the chances of drought and heavy rainfall and the risk of heat waves on land and marine heat waves in many regions of the world. Unquote. Solo added that quote-unquote advanced seasonal forecasts and early warnings are vital to save lives and cushion the impact on our economies and our communities. El Nino is a natural climate phenomenon that warms surface temperatures in the central and eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean, bringing worldwide changes in winds, pressure and rainfall patterns. El Nino events typically occur every 2 to 7 years and usually last between 9 and 12 months. Not all regions of the world are affected. Conditions oscillate between El Nino and its opposite La Nina, both phases of the El Nino Southern Oscillation or the ENSO, with neutral conditions in between.
Shifting your attention to the war between Russia and Ukraine. Now rescuers cleared the rubble in the Ukrainian capital Kyiv in a search for survivors as flags were lowered to half-mast to mark a day of mourning, a day after a Russian missile and drone attack killed at least 30 people in Ukraine.
Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said the attack, the deadliest Russian strike on Ukraine's capital this year, also injured 92 people. He added the parents of a 10-year-old boy who was hospitalized after the attack, as well as a 15-year-old girl, were still unaccounted for. Separately, a Russian drone attack on a house in the northern Sumy region killed 4 people overnight, including a woman and her toddler daughter. Klitschko announced a day of mourning in Kyiv for Friday. Rescue operations were continuing for a second day, he said, as forensic experts work to identify body parts. In recent months, Ukraine has slowed Russian advances to a crawl on the 1,200 kilometers front line and has retaken territory in some areas. In an evening address on Thursday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said, quote-unquote, Russia has no argument left for its war other than its ballistic missiles. He also added, Putin still aims to vanquish residential buildings rather than end this war. The scale and spread of destruction across the breadth of the capital had little precedent even in a war now in its 5th year. Zelensky said more than 100 residential buildings had been damaged. Moscow said the attacks were retaliation for Ukrainian drone attacks.
From one conflict to another, a 7-day series of state funeral ceremonies for former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has begun in Iran, with foreign delegations from more than 100 countries arriving to attend.
Khamenei's body lay in state in a vast hall in Tehran today as scholars, officials, foreign dignitaries and other mourners paid their last respects after his 37-year rule. 86-year-old Khamenei was killed alongside several relatives, including his daughter, son-in-law and 3-year-old granddaughter, in an airstrike on the 28th of February, the first day of the joint US-Israel war on Iran. His son, Mojtaba Khamenei, formally succeeded him as Supreme Leader weeks later. Delegations from over 100 countries have been invited to the ceremonies, with various heads of state and foreign officials arriving in Tehran to attend. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif arrived in Tehran to attend the state funeral ceremonies for the late Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. His visit is part of a broad diplomatic trip spanning the 3rd to the 5th of July 2026, intended to convey the condolences of the Pakistani government and its people to the Iranian leadership.
And in the world of sports, the FIFA World Cup 2026 is definitely heating up, with the round of 32 getting completed by tomorrow.
We cross over once again to Omitra for the details from the FIFA World Cup.
13 teams have secured their place in the round of 16, while the last 3 remaining spots are expected to fill up by tomorrow upon the completion of the round of 32. Spain, Portugal and Switzerland advanced to the round of 16 in the 2026 FIFA World Cup after winning their respective round of 32 matches. Spain reached the World Cup round of 16 for the first time in 16 years after defeating Austria 3-0. The match, played in Los Angeles in front of over 70,000 spectators, saw Mikel Oyarzabal score 2 goals for Spain.
Bucharest, the well-timed run, it's 3.
Portugal secured the win with a goal from Gonçalo Ramos during stoppage.
Coming back to news here at home, following the announcement of gas price reductions by Litrogas, Loves Gas has also announced a price reduction effective from midnight today. Accordingly, the price of a 12.5 kilogram gas cylinder has been reduced by 1,280 rupees, with its new price being 4,965 rupees. Also, the price of a 5 kilogram gas cylinder has been reduced by 512 rupees, with its new price being 1,988 rupees.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. You take care and good night.